Peace and blessing, family. This is Gerald. Happy New Year's 2020. We are here, and I hope that wherever you are, make sure I got the volume up, you're well. I know that I had, first of all, put a disclaimer out there. Sorry if my voice sounds like it's crackly. I got a reason for it. And I'm going to use this as part of this video. So I know some of you probably went to my channel and was like, well, Gerald, you said you were going to put out a video about the new year, forecast of the new year. And that is very well true. And well, wherever you are, in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you, or internationally, you know, while you were preparing for those last 12 hours to tick down, I spent my last 24 hours reflecting on life. Well, you say, well, Gerald, you do that all the time anyway. You might also notice that I look a little worn, right? I know. I got a reason for that too. You see, I'll just start off, I'll go back to Thursday. See, Thursday started coming down with some flu-like symptoms. And like you go and do the standard, go get the over-the-counter. You go and you drink plenty of fluids, stay hydrated, and you try to recover by watching the bell curve of the symptoms. Some are able to press through. Some, based off the immune system, not so lucky. Now, for myself, Thursday, felt the onslaught. Friday, went through what I thought was the peak. Saturday, went to work. Pressed through. Sunday, normal day. Monday, still feeling the effects. But I'm thinking it's the decline because everything's balancing out. Which brings me to New Year's Eve. So that morning, things seem okay. You know, because with these flu-like bugs being going on and spread around and stuff, you know, they're starting to lay a toll. But wasn't worried about that. It wasn't until about 1:30 I decided to lay back down. 3:30 I woke up. When I woke up, I didn't feel right. Unlike your normal aches and pains, this was new to me. And I knew I didn't need to play with it. So, jumped in the shower, threw on these same, what I got on right now, what you see right here. What I got on, well, I had on some, my Merrell boots when I'm home. What I got on right here. And got in my Jeep, made a beeline to my local primary care. Got there because I didn't realize what this feeling was. And I know y'all have asked me, well, Joe, you always say your Jeep, your Jeep, your Jeep. Well, I want to show you my Jeep real quick. I'll just give you a snapshot. Because you guys have been wondering. And I appreciate your patience, but everything's going to lead up to it. But for you guys who've been wondering, this is my Jeep right here. That's what I drive. So, when I tell you how, for one, I'm all about self-protection. I'm all about, yeah, you see that? Yeah. Because I'm about that. And I don't mean that to gloat. Because you only have one life. And you have too many people out there that don't value yours. Because they can't see their worth in theirs. Now, not to be distracted, let me go back to what I was saying. So, the way I was feeling, I had never felt that before. So I said, hey, let's not put pride in the mix. Just take a shower. Let's go and get this checked out. Worst thing that can happen is you pay your copay, you use some medication, send you on your way. Because like you, I had considered on going somewhere for New Year's Eve. But guess what? The Most High had something else. So when I got there, I didn't realize that when they read my blood pressure had spiked to 205. For some of you guys don't know what that is, guys, that is pretty much on the levels of having a stroke, borderline going into cardiac arrest. And I'm just thinking, it's indigestion. So, long story short, what I end up doing is taking a ride from one medical provider to a hospital, which I was already in my feelings because I was like, okay, I feel okay enough to drive. But what I did not realize was I was dealing with my heart. And when I got there, I kind of make light of it because I call it the pincushion syndrome, because you go from one facility, they taking all the labs they want, to go to another for them to do it all over again throughout as long as it takes. And not to be winded, but I'm trying not to. While I was there, of course, you're thinking about all the things that are going on that you don't understand, all the things that you want to do, and all the things that you could have just let go. It just wasn't wasted. It just wasn't worth your time. It just wasn't. Now, I'm saying all this for a couple reasons. Because, let me make this clear. On paper, I am 50 years old. 50. In spirit, I feel like I'm in my 20s. I'm pretty healthy for the most part. Out of 100 percentile, I would say 85% I'm about my health. So it's very important to be honest about yourself. Now, this all leads up to a lot of things. Number one, while I was answering the questions that they asked, of course, in the back of your mind, your brain is trying to make things balance. And you're just trying to sort it out. You're not trying to get worked up, but you can't overlook the fact of what brought you there. You can't overlook the fact that the reason why you have an IV in one arm, you have all these electrodes all over your body, and you're watching your vital signs like you see on the movies, and you're watching it go off time and time again. I can't tell you how many times that reader went off and they had to come in throughout the night because my pressure wouldn't come down. But you know what I did? You know me. I just went inside myself and I prayed. I asked God to make sense of it all. And this might not be your walk right now because maybe you don't have a relationship right now, but believe it or not, I'm going to tell you, you do. Because you have to have something aligned to make sense of what your reality is today. When you're in your 20s, you think you're bulletproof. And I'm saying that with compassion because for those who have graduated through the decades, it's easier to make a comment and opinion when you've already transitioned through it. But when you're in it, it's like trying to find clarity through the forest, through the trees. So take what you hear, what applies and what doesn't, just put it in the back of your pocket. One day it'll make sense. So there I am. There's a clock over the speak it, and it seemed like that clock didn't move. And then I said, well, I'll just try to relax, and it is what it is. Because the reality was, you're not going home tonight. The reality is, there's a possibility you might not go home at all. So, I'm laying on that gurney. And I know somebody's saying, you just clickbait. No, I'm not. I'm serious. Serious. That's my stuff. I haven't even taken it off. I've only been home now maybe an hour and a half, 2. Just got home. And I'm going to tell you something, fam. There's going to be 1,001 New Year's resolutions for your next 12 months. But if the number one resolution is to be happy, all the other ones don't make sense. Did you hear me? If your number one resolution to yourself is to be happy, is not to be happy, you shouldn't even have any resolutions. Because that is going to be the linchpin that makes all the other ones come together. There are going to be plenty of people that are going to say, well, I'm going to go this route, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I commend them. But if you're not even willing to give yourself time to even acknowledge what needs to be changed, once again, brings you back to square one. So I'm going to cut through the chase. I got a couple things I want to say. And if it applies, please embrace it. If it doesn't, just make note that I spoke it. Number one, there are 3 things that you need to hold dear Number one is your health. You only have one life. And if you don't invest in your health, don't worry about your goals because you won't see it. That means you have to be honest in where you lack. And when you're honest where you lack, that's a starting point. Number two, put your pride to the side. Because your pride robs you of your youth. It's like stress. It is a doorway to stress. It's the silent killer, y'all. You realize how many people drop dead because of stress? Because of pride? Because they didn't get the last word. They didn't get to make their presence felt. And they hold on to that bitterness inside. Guess what happens? It kills you slowly within. And then eventually it's written all over your face. Number three, no matter where you are, never stop dreaming. No matter how big, no matter how small, claim your dreams. Because if you're willing to claim your dreams, that's a starting point. That's a starting point where you can build. It just depends on when you want to begin. And number four, I think this has been one of the things I've been trying to learn these last 20 plus years. And the biggest one is family. When it comes to family, you don't get to choose. But you do have the right to learn. And maybe sometimes that lesson is shown by challenge. It may be shown by inspiration. It may be shown just by being diligent, being present. And I'm saying this for a couple reasons. For starters, if you have children out there, make sure you give the time that they need, because the influence that you give will be the roadmap to their lives. And what you don't give them, you are leaving it up to society to fill the gaps. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't want Sally Mae to go down that road, then you show her a better path. Now, you always hear me say each one teach one. I say that because there's quite too many times there are bad examples of what we should not do. And we all know there are plenty of people that don't care. And actually there's a small group that are profiting on that and banking that you don't care too. They enjoy that because they see our community as entertainment only, disposable, not something that should be considered as a natural resource, or better yet, a diamond that should be protected. But I want to talk to the men that hear my voice. I want to drive this home. If you are being sexually active and you're not ready to be a parent, make sure you take the steps to protect yourself. Because what's at stake not only is your mortality, but what is going to be held hostage will be your legacy. Now, with that being said, I say this with love. It takes a real man to raise a child. But anybody can make one. That's why that person earns the right to be called dad. There's a difference between being called dad and father. See, father bears life. Dad shows you how to live in it. Mom shows you the tools that are needed to navigate your life. That's why when I hear people call their child's mother other than what she is, you're disrespecting your child. So stop doing that. And actually, you're really disrespecting yourself too. Because guess what? You chose her. You chose her. So indirectly, as long as your child's alive, she's connected to you. Do people change? They do. But guess what? The one thing you both can agree upon is you got something right because you got that beautiful blessing called your child. That goes out to somebody. Another thing too, if you're in a situation where you're counting the timelines and you think there may be a possibility that you may have children out there, don't let your pride get in the way. Take a DNA test, put it out there in the system, and see. Because what is really cowardly is to know that you have children out there. There's a difference when you don't know. When you don't know, then you gotta be able to, you have to put that in the context of, you can't get mad when you're unaware. I'm saying you're made aware. Do the right thing. Because the one thing that I've learned, that I've watched in my life, in my development, in the influence of other people, that child, no matter how strong no matter how strong their persona may be on the outside, there's still going to be the image of that other parent inside their heart until it's filled. And what you don't want to do is get to a point where the child has matured and now they feel that they don't need you. But sadly, do you realize that as long as you have a cognitive brain, lungs to breathe, and functional limbs, and even if you don't have functional limbs, but you can understand what's going on, as long as you're able to understand, guess what? You should understand that you all need each other. That's what coming full circle is all about. I don't know why I felt compelled to say that, but we have too many links that bind us all together missing. Too many pieces of the puzzle considered discarded. All because we allow our pride to get in the way of our personal history. And you wonder why people are still wandering around deep down inside, they still don't know who they are. Well, if this is you, take the mask off. Be transparent for once. Love yourself more. And do what's best for yourself. Because one thing I also have realized, if you're afforded the opportunity to communicate with people, even if you ain't eye to eye, that's how your history is validated. And we've gotten too lazy when it comes to what we see and what we know. But I'm gonna leave that alone. So as for 2020, I've adopted a new attitude on a lot of things. You used to always hear me say, energy out is energy return. And I'm gonna stand on that now, because no matter how big my heart is, I'm only one person. And at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for me too. So with that said, 2020, I'm going to do a major overhaul with my life. Haven't decided if I'm going to cut my hair off. I don't know. But I will tell you, health is going to be priority number one for me. I mean, like I said, out of 100%, I'm pretty much 85% pretty healthy. But when you have people telling you, hey, something's up with your heart, when I really wanted to tell them, my heart is that way because it's been bruised from all the people that haven't treated it right. But then I would sound like Chiron, the wounded warrior. Loved mankind so much, it loved his last breath. But I love my life a little more than that. And I'm going to pull my weight, and I hope you pull yours too. So with that being said, with all humanity, with all compassion, just whatever you do for 2020, make sure it's balanced. Treat your life like a scale. What you put on it, make sure it balances out. Make sure it's balanced. And the only way to do that, you got to see your worth. Have the courage to cut out those people that don't see it. Don't worry about that. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Because the one stark reality that I did have when I was checking out of the hospital, there were people that came in that hospital that didn't come out. Didn't get a chance to see 2020. Don't let one person, don't let nobody rob you of your time, your feelings, your destiny. Like I always used to say, not everybody's supposed to know, is going to know your story. Just like not everybody's supposed to know your middle name. But when I say, not everybody's supposed to hear you breathe, it's real. Because the ones that really, truly value you are going to be the personification of what you stand for all along. Happy 2020, Happy New Year's. This is our year. It's time to get it. What you gonna do? Stand on it or get left behind? Like those you did in 2019. Peace.